Hi everyone, I'm Laura from IT Moon and I'm here today to show you a bit about Trello and the Butler feature and how you can use it to make it a lot easier. If you don't know IT Moon, we are basically small business support for companies and we are a digital support assistance, social media management, video editing, you name it, as long as it involves tech, we do it. And me, myself, I'm normally the tech person behind things, whereas Tamara, who works for the company, she's normally the one doing the video editing and doing any imagery and things like that. So today we're going to dive into Trello. You can see I've got this Trello board up and running for you already. So we're going to dive into how we can use Butler to help us with our social media. So on the left hand side here we've got our templates, we call it, this section. Here is logo, so we can simply click in. We've got different variants of logo, so depending on what we're doing we can pick the logo out and use it. Then we've got our colour palette here. We are changing our colour palette though, but at the moment that's what it is. And you can put an image in there if you want, or you can just type it in here so you can copy and paste the hex codes as you need them. We then have down here all the different types of content that you should be doing. So if you know your social media, you'll know this already. But if you don't, you shouldn't just be doing sales, 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 sales. Not going to work. So you need to split it up. How we use these is we basically set them up as template cards, which I show you in a previous video, which I will drop a link in so you can have a look at that if you wish. And basically when you click on this, all we need to do, it's already got the content in there. If I'm going to create a company update post, I will just click on company and personal on the left, create card from template and click create. And that will then create me a card which follows the same format as what that template did. So it's got the orange on for the label, it's got this already on here for our checklist, because when we do social media, I don't just do it all, I write the content, Tamara comes and creates the image, Tamara proofreads it, I schedule it. So that to us is our checklist. And then what happens is I set a due date. So when is this post going to go out? When do I want this to go out? So if I want this post to be going out tomorrow at 9 AM, I'll put that in here. Then I know, it tells me when it's going out. And then all I need to do then is drag it on to that day. So I just drag it on to Wednesday. So this was one of them that she's done. So before this was actually done, it would have said it's been due on June 28th, it was this one. I'd written the content, Tamara would come in and put the quote on there, so that then when I'm scheduling the social media, I can just come in here, save the image, off I go, post it elsewhere. And then this is when Butler now comes in. If you've not heard of it, Butler basically allows you to do simple little automations. So what I wanted to do is make it so that we can save our posts and easily get them. And when we need to, if you're thinking, right, I actually want to use that again, and we'll just drag it in and everything's there, done and dusted. Obviously you can do this with social management tools, but we like to use Facebook's own scheduler and not social management tools, because with Facebook you do get more engagement and more reach if you use their own tool. And also Trello's free, so even better. And as you can see here, these are all our old posts. So what we've done, we've split them up into quotes, testimonials, sales, other, engagement, and for some reason I have 2 testimonials on there, so I need to get rid of one actually, so we'll drag that one over and archive that. And then we've got testimonials as well. So what we've done now, and instead of me every time, right, this one needs to go into other, drag it over, right, there we go, right, this other one needs to go into quotes, drag that over. We've removed that need basically. So we have basically set up a little automation that will do it for us. When I tick this due date, this is going to put this card into the motivational list that we saw earlier. So I tick that, it says it's complete, and it's disappeared now. If I'm on the background, it is not here. Where that's gone, it's gone into quotes. How do we do this? Here's the question. So what we do is on the right hand side here, you've got something called Butler. So you click into Butler. It'll come up with some automation tips for yourself, but don't worry about that. And what you want to do is you want to go to rules, and you can see I've actually set all these up already. And basically this shows all the rules that I've got set up, not just on this one board, but on all my Trello boards. So obviously I've got quite a lot of different Trello boards, and it's what's set up on them. And the beauty of this is that I basically have set this up on this one board for my own company, and now when I create another company board, I can just tick the enabled box, and this goes down the list. So how we do that is we click create rule. Here you can add what the trigger's gonna be. So the trigger on ours is the due date. So when the due date is marked as complete in a card with either in a list, so you can say in the list, but that wouldn't work for me because things are in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday list. So that wouldn't work, because if I decided that Sunday wasn't going to actually be a testimonial quote, and it's a testimonial, it's going to put me in the wrong list. So we wanted with the label. So we want to put with the whichever label it's going to be. So with the testimonial/review label, and you click add. And then so this line now reads, when the due date is marked as complete in a card with the yellow testimonial/review label. And you can add further things onto it if you want, such as you can decide if it's is it assigned to this person, as the due date actually passed, and things like that. Then you click the plus icon. Now that's your trigger that's set up. So your trigger is here. So once you click this, I want you to do this, Trello. This is what we're going to say. So we want it to move the card to the top of the list in whatever list it was, quotes. And then you click plus on that. And then you just click save. And then that would save that automatically. And at the bottom you can see here. So it's going to sort that out straight away for me. You can play about with it as well, because there's loads and loads of different things in here. You got the calendar, you can set up recurring commands on your calendar. I'd highly recommend setting the calendar up, because if you use that as a power up, it basically shows you what went out on each day. And if you ever want to do that, all you do is click show menu on the right, and on here you click add power up. I think the free version allows you to have one power up on a board, so you should be able to click calendar. Don't count me on that one, but I'm not 100% sure. So I've got an idea. So what happens is I've typed it in automatically. Oh, an orange label's been applied. So the it's automatically being labelled up already as ideas for me. And then if that idea actually turns into something where actually Tamara's going to make this video, I drag it over to Tamara's list. And once it hits Tamara's list, voila. And also, we set up a little due date thing. So if I says this was due on the 1st of June, now, old-fashioned way, I've got to go out and put this at top of the list and drag it in. But instead, we've got a sort cards button, which we've set up. So you click sort cards, and what it will do is put them in date order, all the cards and all the lists. So again, Butler comes into this and how we've done this. We've got here that when the due date is marked as complete in a card by anybody, and I want you to move it to the top of the completed list. So very similar to what we did on the social media board. When it's added to Tamara's tasks, add the pink Tamara label. When it's added to Laura's tasks, add the sky label, etc, etc. The sort cards button, that is also in Butler. So if you go to Butler, you have board button here. And this is where we've set this up. So it says sort the cards in list Tamara's tasks by the due date, sort the cards in Laura's tasks by the due date, and sort the cards in the general list by the due date as well. And to do that, all you do is very similar to the previous one with the create rule. You just click create button, name the button. So obviously I named mine sort cards. So add an action, so you can add a trigger to here. What do you want to actually happen? So when we click that, what do you want it to do? So there's loads of stuff you can do. Could be doing your expenses on the last day of every month. It might be create cards, and what it will do, it will create a card called sort out expenses, and it'll go into Laura's list, because Laura's going to be the one that's going to be doing it. It's going to go on to a specific board maybe, so it's going to go on to IT Moon task board. You don't have to have that, and it'll just stick to this board. You can say what labels it's going to have, so it's going to have Laura's label on it. Add another one if we want to, another label. Do we want a checklist adding to it? So if you've got any checklists that you've predefined, you can put them onto it. You've got people, so you can add usernames to it. and then dates. So you can set the dates. You can set that up how you want to set it up. Similarly, you can do card buttons as well. So you can, some examples it gives you here, that move the card to the list done and remove the card's due date. So you can even get it to remove due dates for you and things like that. Obviously when I did these here where it applied automatic labels, it was create a rule, add a tag, trigger, and then we say right, so when a card is added to the list ideas, we want to add the orange label idea to it. And it might be I want it to move in, but I also want it to add a due date the next Saturday at 11:15 AM. And it'll do that as well for me if I want it to. Could be you want it to automatically put some content in there, so it can set the card's description. It could send an email notification to somebody saying that this card's been added in. Whatever you want to do, you can add fields into it if you want. So I hope you found that useful. Basically, there's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of different things that you can do with this. If you do want any more help with anything, we do offer it out as a service. Just let us know, drop us a message. You can get onto our website at www.itmoon.co.uk. You can also give us a phone call if you wish. We're on Facebook, all those contact details are on his website, and I'll also make sure they're in the comments as well for you. I'm quite certain everything I've showed you should be able to do on the free version. I have got the gold membership on mine, just because I have recommended a few people to Trello, but if you are, have a look around and see what works best for you. So have a lovely day, everybody. Laura from IT Moon. I will leave you with your Trello boards now to go out and discover the Butler feature and everything that it has to offer, because it has a lot to offer.